You're looking at Proto. This here is the building environment where we add modules and make connections to create little applications that run in the viewer. This is the viewer. So let's jump right in, and I'm going to insert a component from the online component library, which is a Yahoo map component. And I click open, Proto downloads it, inserts it, and it's basically ready to go. So I'll expand this viewer so we can see what's going on, and then I'm going to move the controls around, and Proto's UI is always on, WYSIWYG, functional as you work with it. This component here has got a Flash Yahoo map implementation and some Proto modules and some functionality around that so that we can take a table of data here, it looks like, and then plot that on the map. And this is pretty cool, but what I want to be able to do actually is take something that's a little bit different than examples you've probably seen before. I want to take my Outlook contacts and then put those on the Yahoo map. So I'm going to insert another component, and this one I'll take from my local repository. I'll search for Outlook and called Get Outlook Contacts. And what a component really is a useful set of modules where we've defined inputs to it and outputs from it and then published it out for reuse, either for ourselves or for somebody else. And taking this Outlook one as an example, it's just two buttons that trigger, really, in this case, a VBA function. And Proto's got the whole VBA IDE in it so that you can process data if you need to, or tap into desktop applications, whether it's Office or QuickBooks or even iTunes or something like that. And then it takes that functionality, makes it reusable for me or for anybody else, just like this Yahoo Map component that was built and put online. So to use this Get Outlook Contacts component, we'll just throw a table on here, and then I'm going to take the output, make a connection. So I click Get Outlook Contacts, and then I'm going to click Table Connectors Set Entry Set. And let's look on the viewer here, and here's this table. And here's the Outlook contacts. Move them around. So I'll hit Get Contacts, and that triggers the VBA function, which then pulls all this data in and then sends it out. And here we go. So now I've got my contacts in this table in Proto. And to get this data onto the map, I'm going to need to make it look kind of like this data over here, where the fourth column is the address. And the way I know that actually is that the components have user documentation, and this Yahoo map component actually says here in set add markers entry set that the fourth column needs to be the addresses, and the other three columns can really be anything we want. So this is where Proto's gluing, kind of mashing functionality really comes in. In this case, we don't need to do any calculations or much of that sort, but we will just take this table of data and manipulate a little bit. So you can kind of think of what I'm doing now as almost picking columns and outputting them. I could rename them, reorder them, drop them, etc., etc. But in this case, we'll just take those four columns we want, the first name, the last name, the company, and the business address, and put those as the output. So now I've got this little flow building where I get this data from Outlook, and now it's going through this manipulation step and then coming into this table, and I've got the four columns, and it's starting to look a lot like the data I need to go into this Yahoo map component. One more thing I want to do actually is clear out all these rows where we don't have a business address. So let's go back again. I'll delete this connection, hit the delete key, and add a entry set filter. And the entry set filter, as you might guess, filters an entry set. An entry set is our structured data type that has rows, which are entries, and columns. And in this case, we'll add a condition that says the business address column or attribute needs to be text, where the text does contain, and we'll make it the value NY. So this will give me only rows that are from New York, and I'm going to make a connection now, get filtered entry set, put that into the table, and let's see what that looks like. Okay, so now I've got it down to the 10 contacts I have with addresses in New York, and this looks like it's ready to go onto this Yahoo map. So let's do that now. Let's go to the builder, and I'll take this, in fact, I'll just take the entry set directly from the filter and connect that to the set add markers entry set. So I don't need to know what's going on inside of this Yahoo map component. In fact, I don't really want to know what's going on inside of it. I just want to put the data over there and see it come up. So now I see that the data has been passed into the Yahoo Maps component. It looks like I've got the right stuff. So let's clear all and add markers. And here you can see them popping up on the map. And that's basically it. We're almost done. The last thing I do want to do is clean up the UI a little bit. And so what I'll do is I'll hide this table first thing, because we've got now two tables, and so we don't need that one. And I'll move some of these controls around in this component. And so, actually, one thing that I might point out is that the components in Proto are very flexible, and you can edit them and move around the controls, and even go in and change functionality if you need to. So they're almost as much like templates, really, as they are, like functional code pieces or something like that. At any rate, here we go. We're about done. Resize this, and then we'll call it a day. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching.